the Bob Mills Weather Center, Oklahoma weather expert, Jed Castles.
And new this morning, Jed, forecasters calling it an extremely dangerous Category 4 storm as it makes landfall, nears landfall down in Florida.
Yeah, it's going to be catastrophic, and we'll have more on that here coming up in just a moment. Our story real quickly is fire danger. We had some fires once again yesterday. These are up in Lincoln County. Bob Mills Sky News 9 up. Again, the winds were not terribly strong yesterday, but these fires are dealing with some very, very dry drought conditions. So everything's dry, so if a spark happens in these areas, it can create that flame, and they catch fire to all these cedar trees that are just sitting out there that have so much fuel to them, and so they can go up fast and create some major issues, especially out in these wide open spaces. So more on our fire danger here coming up in just a moment. Let's check out the other story down in Florida. Here's another story that's going on down there. They've had tornadoes down across southern Florida, not near the center of the storm. These are out on the outer bands, and so they've been dealing with tornadoes down that way. As we look at the latest radar view, it shows multiple tornadoes, throwing all the tornado reports that we've seen so far. And tornado warnings are continuing to go on this morning as these lines of storms, these outer bands, keep moving across. And again, you see some of those tornado warnings there here overnight. So southern into the far eastern sides where most of the tornadoes have been, but this is the main story right here. This is a Category 4 hurricane, catastrophic hurricane lifting northeastward. Right now, it's going to move south of Tampa. There's Tampa in the upper part of the screen. This is going to be in that Port Charlotte, Cape Coral, Bonita Springs, Fort Myers, and Naples area as it lifts to the north and east, making landfall later this morning into the afternoon. It should make landfall about 1 o'clock today, right around the Sanibel Island area. 140-mile-per-hour winds are clocked on the Doppler radar from the radar site there down at Key West. So this is a major hurricane and one that's going to create major disruptions. We're going to talk a lot more about what this is going to do. Let's give you the latest update on power outages, and these are going to keep going up. 1,000 in between Tampa and Naples, but we've already had over 180,000 down in the Miami area where they were hit pretty hard with some severe weather overnight. Okay, so currently here in Oklahoma, our weather is quiet, 60 degrees, south to southwest winds, 5 miles per hour. We have a great looking forecast here today here at home. We're praying for our friends down in Florida, family members that are down there as well, because they're going to get rocked here for today, and they've had to evacuate, and hopefully everybody that's down in the area that's going to get hit the hardest had a chance to evacuate. Probably still trying to do that this morning as that storm making landfall here a little bit later this morning into the afternoon. 80 noon here for OKC. We'll top it at 88 about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Our temperatures look great. 50s. Low 60s across Oklahoma as we check out the winds. They're picking up a little bit. You'll notice it being a bit breezy in some spots, particularly up around Ponca and Alva over toward Hobart. And those winds, if we have those around today, those are going to help create more additional fire dangers. We'll talk more about that here in just a little bit. Here's the latest kind of broad view of what this hurricane looks like. You can see all the moisture associated with this from the Atlantic coast through central southern Florida. There's Orlando right there. There's Miami right there. And there's the hurricane lifting north and eastward up toward the Cape Coral area. The winds and waves have been the story with this. Waves heights up over 20 feet with this out at sea. And this is going to create a storm surge as those waves move on in that Cape Coral, Bonita Springs area. Could be seeing up over 18 feet waves in those areas. That'll be a massive storm surge as it moves in to that area. About 1 o'clock today, making landfall there near Port Charlotte, Fort Myers. That'll keep lifting northeastward by, say, 1 a.m. Thursday, central Florida, and then 1 p.m. Thursday moves across the far east sides of Florida before lifting northward, gradually weakening, but does make landfall second time up near Savannah. So there's the latest on that. So let's check out the conditions right now for Oklahoma. Got 80s, some 90s on the way for today. Checking those lows tonight. It's going to be a cool night, pleasant night tonight across Oklahoma, and then we'll be back up in the 80s for tomorrow. A little bit cooler tomorrow. Should see highs in the lower 80s. But again, fire danger, our story here as dry weather continues. Again, October moving in with some warm temperatures, maybe just a bit warmer heading into early parts of next week.